Hello and welcome to Mathematics with Simon. I'm Simon and this is Chewbacca the dog. This is a packet of sliced British bacon. Today we're going to talk about fractions. We're going to go through an introduction to fractions, talk about what they are and how they work. At the end of it, Chewie might get a fraction of the bacon. We shall see. Fractions are useful when we're talking about part of something. For instance, you could say to somebody, would you like a tenth of this cake? I've broken it into 10 equal pieces. Would you like one piece? That's a tenth. It's useful when talking about money, about time, about distance, as in we're 3/4 of the way there, about pies, or apple juice. Oh no, Mum, my brother drank half the apple juice and Dad drank the other third, so all that's left is 1/6 for me. I got that right. It's less useful for cars. So half a car isn't much use, or a tenth of a car, but you could say, well, someone cut our car in half, and now we've saved up half of the money to buy a new one. So that's two uses of fractions. Fractions aren't generally useful for railway platforms. Usually we deal with whole numbers with railway platforms, but just occasionally fractions might come in handy. What are you doing? He's getting down, I think. Are you? Off you go. Okay, so let's just look at a fraction and let's see how they work. So 3/4. So 4 is the number of equal parts we're going to break something into, and then 3 is the number of pieces that we're going to take from the 4 equal parts. So here's an illustration of that. We've broken the circle into 4 equal pieces. He just had a little shake down there, and I'm giving him a scratch. We've broken a circle into 4 equal pieces. We're going to take 3 of them. That's 3/4. The number on top, the number 3, is called the numerator. The number on the bottom, the number 4, is called the denominator. So the denominator says, this is how many parts we're breaking the thing into, and then the numerator says, this is how many of them we're going to take. So let's look at some examples. A half, we've broken it into 2 pieces. We've taken 1 of them, that's 1/2. 2/3, we've broken the thing into 3 pieces. We're taking 2 of them, that's 2/3. We break it into 5 pieces and take 3 of them, that's 3/5. Looks a bit bigger than a half, doesn't it? And then here's 5/8. 5 pieces out of 8. Now there are other ways of thinking about part of something. As well as fractions, there's also decimals and percentages. We're just going to do a quick illustration of these, just do some examples, but there's no pressure to understand all of this. We can cover this in future videos. So 1/2, as a fraction it's 1/2, as a decimal 0.5, and as a percentage it's 50%. 1/5 as a fraction is 1/5, as a decimal it's 0.2, and as a percentage it's 20%. And then 1/10 is 1/10, 0.1 as a decimal, or 10% as a percentage. So in future we're going to look at when fractions are equal, when one fraction is bigger than another fraction, addition and subtraction of fractions, multiplication and division of fractions, and then improper fractions. So we'll just look at a couple of examples now, but we're going to cover this in detail in the future. So again, if you don't understand every last bit of this, there's no need to worry. When fractions are equal, so 1/2 equals 4/8. And here's a picture just to show that. So on the left we've got 1 part out of 2. On the right we've got 4 parts out of 8. And as we can see, that's just as much of the circle. Which is biggest, a half or a third? Do you know? If you do know, I'd love to see your thoughts in the comments. Love to see what you think. What is a half plus a quarter? Do you know what this is? Do you know how to do this? A half minus a quarter. A half plus 3/7. Again, if these feel difficult, and this is a more difficult one actually. If these feel difficult, not to worry, we're going to cover this in detail in future. What about a half times a quarter, or a half of a quarter, which is the same thing? And how many quarters in a half? So what is a half divided by a quarter? What do you think that is? And then finally, what do we make of this? So we've broken something into 5 equal parts, and we're taking 14 of them. Is that useful? It turns out this is useful. We can make sense of this. These are called improper fractions. So this has been a quick introduction. If you've enjoyed it, please do press the like button. If you'd like to see more in the future, if you hit subscribe and the notification bell, it will let you know. I very much hope you enjoy your mathematics and look forward to seeing you next time. All that remains is to give Chewbacca some meat. Chewbacca, some meat. I gave him half a piece of bacon. We really look forward to seeing you next time. We hope lockdown is treating you well, and we'll be here again soon.